When searching for flights, most people head to websites like Skyscanner, Momondo, Kayak, Expedia and more. However, I do almost all my air travel research through Google Flights, a free but powerful tool with no hidden costs to narrow down the best time to fly and who with. In this video, I'm going to take a look and explain the most useful features in Google Flights to find the best deals whatever your situation, whether you know your destination and dates or have no plans at all and just want to explore what's available. Google Flights is basically an extension of their search database, but with powerful filters and tracking tools focused around air travel. There are two main reasons I prefer it over dedicated flight comparison sites: its simplicity and its reliability. It quickly and very clearly shows you the information you need to find and compare the best available flights on the web with no hidden costs. And its comparison and tracking features are some of the most powerful and easy to understand. To begin showing you around Google Flights basic tools, I'm going to start with a very standard search query for occasions when you have solid plans and know the dates and destination of your trip. This is often the case as people want to go somewhere in particular and maybe have set dates of annual leave to do it in. I'm going to take a look at a round trip to Tokyo from London in February. When entering the origin and destination, you can choose a specific airport or, as I've done in this case, a whole city, and Google will include flights that go in and out of all the nearby airports. For now, let's say I specifically want to fly out on the 3rd and return on the 16th, about 2 weeks. If you want to narrow your search further, then at the top of the page there are a number of filters to help you find the right flight for you. By default, Google lists the best flights based on price and timings at the top of the page, with further options that are more expensive or have long and inconvenient stopovers further down. Green coloured prices are those that are cheaper and generally represent a good deal. If you click on the price details drop down, it will give you more info on exactly where the current prices sit in comparison to usual prices for the same trip at a similar time of year, which is one of the most useful features to quickly see what you should expect and whether the current price is in fact a good deal. Once you select a flight, it will then give you an option of changing the return flight and how much that will cost, and finally display the different booking options. In this case, booking directly with Air France is the only option, but sometimes it might list the price of booking through other sites like Expedia if they are available. Now that I have specific flights selected, another fantastic feature is that I can look at the price history for that specific ticket and see whether now is a good time to buy or not. In this instance, I can see that the price was a bit lower just over 10 days ago, so I may want to wait and see if it drops again. However, it is still significantly lower than it was around 40 days ago, so I need to keep an eye out as it may jump up again. Now, moving on, another likely scenario is that you know where you want to go, but have more flexibility in the dates, which is where Google Flights really comes into its own. Let's return to the original search query. When you click to input a departure date, down at the bottom of the pop-up is an option for how long you want your trip to last. I'm going to keep it at 13 days so it fits within my scenario of 2 weeks of annual leave. The prices it then displays under each day are the price of the cheapest return ticket if you flew out that day and returned 13 days later. If I click on the 3rd of February, the prices will all then change to the cost of the return ticket based on if I was flying out on the 3rd. It's pretty self-explanatory really. However, if I want to do easier comparison, I can pull up the price graph. This visually displays the cheapest time to go on a return journey for the length specified. You can alter the length of your trip and the graph will adjust accordingly. This makes it super quick and easy to spot the best days to fly out for your trip if you know the length of time you want to be away for. Alternatively, the date grid allows you to play around with dates and duration even more. Along the top, you can adjust the week of departure, and down the side, the week of return. The prices listed in the grid are then the cost of a return ticket if you fly out and back on the corresponding dates for that column and row. The further to the bottom left of the grid, the longer your trip will be, and to the top right of the grid is the shortest trip, in this case just one night. If, for instance, I had 2 weeks of annual leave booked from the 3rd to the 16th of February, but I wasn't bothered when I went away during that time, then this can be a really useful tool to compare when I should fly out and back during those 2 weeks. Sometimes it might be the case that you're not only flexible on dates, but also weighing up different destinations. Or maybe you are traveling around a country, so want to compare different cities that you could possibly fly in or out of. Or you could just live between 2 different airports and it doesn't matter which you depart from. Google Flights allows you to add multiple origins and destinations, so you can still use all the tools previously mentioned, but see the results for several different locations at the same time, making it super easy to compare your options. To do this is just a simple case of pressing the plus symbol when entering your origin and destination to add further options, and it will compare all the different combinations of the locations you have included. In this case, I've added Birmingham as an origin and Osaka as a destination. The results show that whilst Tokyo is definitely the cheaper city to fly into Japan, Birmingham is actually a slightly cheaper departure airport than anywhere in London for these dates. Finally, if you are totally flexible on destination, then Google Flights has a fantastic map-based explore page to really have some fun seeing what deals are out there. If we go back to the homepage of Google Flights before you start your search, just click on Explore Destinations. From here you can choose your departure point or points and input specific dates, or just be completely flexible with options of what month you would like to go and roughly how long for. It will then list all the results on a map with all the filters we had before to narrow down and find your perfect getaway. Then you can just have fun searching around the map, zooming in and out to reveal more locations and prices. Now, during all that research, it's likely you will find some flights you are interested in but maybe don't want to commit to straight away. Well, when you click through and have chosen certain flights, if you are logged into Google, you can just click the Track Prices option at the top of the summary page, and this will add those flights to your tracking list. Now, whenever the price significantly changes, Google will email to notify you. You can also go to the Tracked Prices page on Google Flights when logged in to see more information about all the flights you are tracking, view their price history and click through to book. So that about wraps up the main features of Google Flights and why I love using it so much. It makes searching for flights simple, quick and even fun when using the Explore map. But most importantly, it has saved me a lot of money over the years, keeping track of price changes and spotting deals I might have otherwise missed. Other websites like Skyscan and Kayak do have similar comparison graphs and tools to those mentioned in this video. However, I personally find Google Flights to be the quickest, simplest and most reliable of them all. For example, when I was recently booking flights from Melbourne to Manila, Google Flights was coming out significantly cheaper than any other site because it looked at the price of the same flight on all the different local versions of the airline's website. Despite the fact the flight was with a Filipino airline, it found a discount if I was to buy the flights on the Australian version of their site in Australian dollars, saving a massive chunk of money I wouldn't have known about otherwise. Before I finish up, I just want to quickly say that I have been debating over whether to make this video for a while. As a channel that discusses sustainability and climate change, I don't want to encourage one of the main causes of CO2 emissions, flying. However, I do still fly myself, and in any case people are still going to fly with or without this video. And at least through this video I can try and encourage a more sustainable way of doing it. So if you can, please do find alternatives to flying like catching the train. If you can't, then make sure to fly economy, which emits less emissions, and direct. You can use filters in Google Flights to search for journeys with no stops. Finally, please consider carbon offsetting your flight emissions, which involves funding carbon reduction projects like tree planting, renewables, and energy efficiency projects around the globe. Whilst it is definitely not a replacement for reducing your flights and emissions, it is a useful tool alongside those reductions to mitigate the damage and help poorer communities. Kath and I carbon offset all our flights, and it is nowhere near as expensive or complicated as you might think. I actually have a whole video explaining what it is and how to do it, which I'll link to somewhere over here and in the video description. The money you save using the tips in this video could easily pay for the offset. Anyway, I hope this video has been helpful and can find you some great deals in the future. Thanks a lot for watching.